Hello, everybody. It's Cody here from Rasslin Rage, and I am joined by the Warboy, Dre Jacobs. Before I ask him some questions and thank him for coming on, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up, so smash that. And also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. So, Dre, the Warboy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this, actually. I've been wanting to be a part of this for a while now, so.
Cool. Thanks so much. I appreciate the support. So, man, you've been wrestling for what, 10, 11 years now?
It'll be 11 years in August. Yep.
11 years in August. So that's, you're considered a veteran now. Really? I mean, that's kind of cool. But I got to ask you, 10, 11 years, what influenced you to get involved in professional wrestling?
Oh, man. When I was little, wrestling was always like a big part of my life. It saved me. I had a very harsh upbringing. I was abused at the time by my stepfather, and it was just wrestling was my escape. And there was a point in my life where I was just depressed and suicidal. And one of my friends had given me an address, and on the address was a wrestling school in Middletown, Ohio, and that's where I met my trainer and started my life over, man. So,
okay.
What really influenced me is just the fact that people were there that could generate an escape for someone like me. You know, I mean, give somebody a moment of entertainment and joy, make them feel something other than feeling alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just being in the moment, just being there in the moment, and realizing like living moments and things like that. And that's really what influenced me to be a wrestler.
Okay, so you said you met your trainer. If you don't mind me asking, who is your trainer, or who was your trainer?
My trainer was John Mountain Miller. John the Mountain Killer Miller. He's been wrestling since dinosaurs roamed the earth. But we have a really strong father-son relationship and everything. Yeah, he's always looked out for me. He brought me in right. He made me pay my dues. He made me train. Like I trained an entire year before I even got my first match. You know, like.
Oh wow.
So some rookies start off in like battle royals and stuff, and he was like, until you have a year of training under your belt, you're not even going to do that. You're not going over the top. So.
That's
so
crazy.
He wanted me to be ready. You know.
Well, and so you hit the ground running for sure, because you're all over the place now for sure. So everyone I've spoke to that says training to be a professional wrestling's hard, as it should be, like anything in life. Anything that's hard is worth it. But a lot of people quit, and a lot of people never follow that dream and what have you. And they make a lot of sacrifices, right? So there's wrestlers out there with kids, and I do believe you have kids as well. And there too, yeah. And so there's a lot of sacrifices involved. Traveling on the road and things like that. What makes it all worth it? The injuries and everything, and all those sacrifices that you guys have to make. What makes it all worth it at the end of the day?
Well, like I said earlier, wrestling was my escape. Wrestling brought me joy, and I want to be able to create moments that other people will enjoy, and bring people like me that like they have that rough life and everything like that, and I want them to have that escape, and I want to be able to create that escape for them. Also, especially now with my kids being 6 and 3 now, I just want to be someone that they can look up to. I never really finished school or anything like that, so it was like wrestling. I have to be a wrestler. You know what I mean? It's the only thing I've got. It's the only thing I'm good at. So, by doing that, I feel like I can show my kids, like, hey, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, you can make it possible. As long as you keep moving forward and keep your head in the game and don't give up on yourself, or things like that. So
right. Well, as a father myself, I can respect that, because I can respect that don't take this the wrong way, but even if none of you guys ever made it to, if any of you guys never made it to say WWE, but what you just said right there, that's respectful right there, man. To give those kids something, to give them the hope for a dream.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
So listen, you wrestled. I was looking you up. You wrestled for Heartland Wrestling in Ohio, and so that's historical. Then you also wrestled at the Lincoln Park Community Center for XICW for the Chic Sweet Daddy Malcolm Monroe Memorial Show. So, with everything you just said, what's something like that mean to you? Because that's huge, man.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. Wrestling in the Lincoln Center and for the Chic and everything like that for that show, I didn't really know the history, the Michigan wrestling history until I started wrestling in Michigan.
Right.
So I never knew how deep it was and how historic it was, and getting to be a part of it, to me personally, it kind of feels unearned.
Okay.
But it also makes me feel like for someone to see something in me, for me to be a part of that show, really means that I'm doing something correctly. I'm doing something right. And looking back at it now, it's like being able to be a part of history or to rewrite history just makes it all worth it. HWA, man, I had so much fun in Heartland.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, OVE's Dave Christ actually brought me in. My debut match was against Jake Christ. He beat the crap out of me.
That's a story, man. That's one of those stories you get to tell your kids. Yeah, you see that guy? See that guy? Yeah. I wrestled him once. So listen, Heartland. That's Cody Hawk. That's Sean Case. That's a lot of history, man. What was you were talking with you said the Chris brothers. There's a lot of history there. What was one of your favorite matches in Heartland?
I really liked anything that Jake Chris and John Moxley did.
Man,
anything that they did.
The fact that you can say that you watched those two names is amazing to me. Like I now have to pay $20 pay-per-view for that stuff. You got to see that up close and personal. That's awesome.
And then also Dave Christ and Ricochet had a really good one.
I'm so jealous right now.
I got to see Nigel McGuinness and Chad Collier during the last of the McGuinness tour. I'm a big fan of Nigel McGuinness. He's my hero. He's one of my biggest wrestling influences. So getting to see him and being a part of that show was like a dream come true for me. There's so many, man. There's just so many. They have some huge library. And once I joined up, it was like I had to find every single piece of history I could about them.
For sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing at all. So listen, goals, right? Everybody's got them. Yeah, and most people that are successful in anything that they do have goals, because with anything else, it's just a dream and it's not reality. So you have to have a goal. Can you share one of your goals for you going forward in your career for professional wrestling with us?
I want to change the mold of what a typical big guy in professional wrestling is.
And you know what? I see that with a lot of your posts on Facebook, so I can see that. Like,
when you're a big guy in the business, it's like you have to follow a certain stereotype. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to leave your feet. You're not supposed to fly to your highest or anything like that. You're supposed to be the big monster. And it's like there's so much more that certain people can do, and there's so much more that I can do. And I just want to be able to break that mold, I get a lot of people saying, "Oh, you remind me of Bam Bam Bigelow," or "You remind me of Kevin Owens." And one of my goals is to not remind you of that. If I don't remind you of anybody other than Dre Jacobs, I'm not doing my job correctly. So to break the mold of what a big guy wrestler is, and to just put my name on that map, Like, you want to compare me to those guys. You want to compare me to the Kevin Owens and the Bam Bam Bigelows and all these big guys that can move. I want to break the mold. I want somebody 10 years from now to be like, oh, you're like Dre Jacobs, or oh, you remind me of Dre Jacobs.
Yeah.
Another goal of mine really is to just make a living of this.
Yeah.
I don't care where I end up. If I get signed somewhere, if I get to one of the major companies, that's great, obviously. But I just want to make a living doing this, however I can. If I'm going to be on the indies forever, that's what I'm going to do. If I'm going to get signed someplace, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to make a living at this. That's like the main goal for me right now.
Those two great goals for sure. Yeah, definitely two great goals. Now, I'm a huge independent wrestling fan. I love all pro wrestling, truthfully. But hey, listen, I enjoy the up close and personal feeling of the independent wrestling scene. You don't get that in a lot of places, but you do get it in the independents. There's a lot of talk about independents right now. Like it's hot. It's real hot. Wrestling overall is hot, but independents are hot too. What do you think that's causing this huge interest in independents right now in the fans or throughout everywhere? What do you think it is?
The fact that I feel like wrestlers have options now. It used to be WWE or bust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you have so many options. Look at like AEW just took off.
Right.
Out of nowhere, started taking off. Impact is back on its top level. New Japan, MLW, Ring of Honor, all these places that people can go, they have options now.
Yes,
and I feel like there's a certain contrast of styles. These indie guys, us indie guys, we're hungry, man. We are hungry.
So you see it in all the shows. You see that in most of the shows, especially. I haven't been outside of Michigan to watch an independent show, but inside of Michigan, the guys that I see in Michigan, every match is outdoing the next, and these guys are hungry and they just want more. And dudes diving off of things at Lincoln Park Center, crazy people. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Hi, Alex.
But yeah.
Yeah, sure. I tried to talk him out of doing that too, by the way. I was like, hey.
Well, his mom will love you for that.
I was like, hey, you probably shouldn't do it. Well, the floor was so slick.
Yeah.
And it, like, all that stuff, all that residue that was on the floor was getting in his shoes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if he slips, his mom's going to kick my ass.
Yeah, well, yeah, she wasn't happy for sure. So, the bad guys, right? The bad guys. Everybody loves a bad guy. Well, not everybody. I do. I like a good bad guy, personally, myself. I don't know about you, but do you have a favorite bad guy?
I am my favorite bad guy.
Oh, there we go. That is the one right there.
If I was forced to choose anybody other than me, right now, close to me, Johnny Delicious is an amazing heel. And I know he used to wrestle back in the day and stuff too. But like just him as a manager, to get so much heat and not even have to step foot in the ring is amazing.
That's true. They don't like him much.
Growing up, I absolutely loved anything that Paul Heyman ever did or said.
Yeah, well, it's hard not to.
For the same exact reasons.
Right.
It's hard to find a good bad guy, but you need a good bad guy to elevate your hero. And I feel like the ones that talked the most and did the least were probably the most effective.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. So, a lot of the guys that I've talked to and girls, they've women. Whatever. I don't want to hurt. Pick nobody off. I don't need no heat. But dream match. Everybody's got a list. What if you had one left, one in you? You're like, okay, this is it. I'm done after this one. Who's the guy? And it don't matter, or girl, doesn't matter where they're at. Independent, big time, small time, whatever. Who do you want? Who do you want to see in that ring?
Just one.
Just one. That's hard. I know, ain't it? Cody asks all the hard questions.
I would. I would give my entire career if I could have one match, just doesn't matter how long, 3 minutes, 30 minutes, 3 hours, don't give a damn. If I could have one match, me versus Nigel McGuinness.
There you go. That's not a bad one to, man. I can see that too.
He's the reason I throw lariats. Like,
yeah. And you know, what I love about guys like him is he can wrestle just about anybody. And it goes, you know, it doesn't matter size, it doesn't matter. He can make it work, and I like that. I like guys like that. AJ Styles, another guy like that. You know, make a lot of things work. So I want to say, you know, I'm going to finish this up, and I want to say thank you so much for coming on, because I've been looking forward to this one. You're one of those guys, I don't even know how to explain it, but you're just, I don't know, man. You got something about you. And, I mean, when you're doing your war, I'm scared, okay? I'm scared. I just want to stay away, all right? But I want to say thank you.
Come.
Right.
I'm trying to sucker you in.
Right. I want to say...
I'm like Pennywise, and I have your boat, and I want you to come into the sewers.
That's great. I want to say thanks, dude, for coming on. Now, it was really awesome to have you on. And listen, I asked enough questions to where, like, you know, people know you, but now we got to find out more, right? So, you know, we'll definitely got to get you on again sometime. But before we get out of here, do me a favor, let the people know out there how they can follow you on social media, you know, your Facebook and all that stuff. And then also maybe, you know, there's a booker or a promoter out there watching who wants to book you on the show. You know, throw that information down there. And listen, everybody that's watching, he's going to say it, and I'm going to write it, type it, whatever, down there in the description for everybody down there, so that you can just probably click it and go right to his profile. So go ahead and give him that info, would you?
Awesome. Well, I don't have a Twitter because I'm lame and I'm old at heart. But you can follow me on Instagram at DreLTW Jacobs. Facebook, just type in Dre Jacobs. I'm the only one that's sitting next to Johnny Delicious, or my face is covered in paint. Yeah. And be sure to check out my YouTube channel. It's at Dead by Noon, DEDBYNOON. Or just type in Dre Jacobs in the search bar. And feel free to like and subscribe everything you see.
All right. Well, tell me about this YouTube channel. What you got going? Is it just your wrestling matches, or what's up?
Well, it started off that way, and then we're trying to get a little bit more into it. I have a couple of out of the ring shows I'm kind of doing. Of course, I run this stable called War Inc.
Right.
And it's just a group of guys that are just like me. They just want to break the mold of what they're doing. They want to prove that they can get out and go. And something that I like to do is I have a show coming out pretty soon. It should be out by the fall. It's called Reminisce. And it's basically I'll have a special guest with me, and we'll just tell funny stories, man. Just tell stories of things that have happened to us in our time in the business and things like that. So
I like that. I really like that.
This fall.
Okay,
Reminisce.
And that's going to be on this YouTube channel you just told us about?
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I like the idea of that. That sounds really cool. Well, again, man, dude, thanks so much. And then, like I said, we're going to get you on here again. And maybe we can get, you know, one of these days, maybe I can talk with the Weaponized guy down there. And we can get all you guys from the Kira clan together in the ring down there at XICW. But I will see you on the 14th for sure for Proving Ground. So have a good one, and thanks again, brother.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
You are the Death Threat Army. Vehicle City villain Aaron O'Ryan.
Black Diamond Jack Price.
The Wild Child Jody Threat.
And Weaponized Alex Weir. And you're watching Rasslin Rage live on Friday nights at 8 o'clock on YouTube.